Imagine waking up tomorrow with exactly $0 to your name. No savings, no investments, no safety net. Now imagine waking up with $100 million. Private flights, luxury homes. Financial freedom that could last for generations. Sounds like two completely different lives, right? But here's the crazy part. Most people think money only changes what you can buy. In reality, it changes how you think, who you spend time with, what problems keep you awake at night, and even how people treat you. At $0, your biggest question is, how do I survive this month? At $100 million, the question becomes, how do I protect my empire? And who can I actually trust? And somewhere between those two extremes is the life almost everyone is chasing. Today, we're going level by level through what life actually looks like at every stage of net worth, from broke to financially stable to rich to ultra wealthy. And by the end of this video, you'll probably realize something surprising. The biggest difference between poor and rich isn't the money. It's the mindset. Money is weird. People with no money think $1 million solves everything. Millionaires think $10 million is real wealth. And people worth hundreds of millions? Most of them still compare themselves to billionaires. Because wealth is relative, every level unlocks new freedoms. But also new fears, responsibilities, and psychological traps. So in this video, we're going to break down what life looks like at $0, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, $10 million, and $100 million. We'll talk about lifestyle, stress, relationships, habits, opportunities, and the hidden realities nobody talks about. Because this isn't just about luxury cars and mansions. This is about how money quietly reshapes your entire identity. So let's start at the bottom. Level 1, net worth, $0. At $0, life becomes reactive. Every decision revolves around survival. You're not thinking 5 years ahead. You're thinking about Friday, rent, bills, gas, food, debt. Your brain operates in a constant state of stress. And what most wealthy people forget is this: being broke is mentally exhausting. When every small expense feels like an emergency, long-term thinking becomes almost impossible. You delay health checkups, you avoid investing, you stay in bad jobs, sometimes even bad relationships, because survival kills risk-taking. At this level, time feels expensive. Missing just one paycheck can destroy everything. And the worst part? Society often treats poor people like they're lazy, when many are simply trapped in a cycle of financial pressure. But there's also something powerful about this stage: hunger. People at $0 often have the highest ambition because they have the least to lose. Some of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world started right here. No backup plan, no safety net, just urgency. And urgency can become fuel. But escaping this level usually requires one thing: increasing your income faster than your lifestyle inflation. Not motivation, not positivity, not hustle quotes. Skills. Because at $0, your greatest asset isn't money. It's your earning potential. Level 2, net worth, $10,000. $10,000 changes your psychology more than most people realize. For the first time, emergencies don't instantly destroy you. Your car breaks down, painful, but survivable. Unexpected bill, annoying, but manageable. At this level, you finally start feeling a small sense of control. And control creates confidence. This is where many people begin: budgeting, saving, investing, and actually learning about money seriously. But this level is dangerous too, because financially you're still fragile. One medical emergency, one layoff, one bad decision, and suddenly you're back at $0. This is also the level where lifestyle inflation quietly begins. You get a slightly better paycheck, and suddenly, nicer clothes, expensive subscriptions, car payments, and eating out all the time. The problem? Most people increase their spending the moment their income rises. So even though they earn more, they never actually build wealth. And this is where the middle class trap begins. You look successful, but financially, you're stuck. At this level, discipline matters more than income, because someone earning $60,000 a year who invests consistently often becomes wealthier than someone making $150,000 who spends emotionally. This stage teaches your first major money lesson. Wealth is what you keep, not what you show. Level 3, net worth, $100,000. At $100,000, life finally starts feeling stable. Not luxurious, stable. You breathe differently. You stop panicking every time your phone rings. You stop checking your bank account every morning. And for the first time, money begins working for you. Investments matter now. Compound interest becomes visible. A good year in the stock market might make more money than an entire month at work, and that changes your relationship with time. This is usually where people max out retirement accounts, buy homes, build businesses, and start thinking seriously about the future. But psychologically, something else happens. You become protective. When you've spent years building your first six figures, you become terrified of losing it. Ironically, many people at this stage become more financially anxious than when they were broke, because now there's finally something to lose. You also start noticing social differences more clearly. Friends who spend recklessly begin looking irresponsible. People with financial discipline stand out immediately. And slowly your circle starts changing, because money habits are contagious. At this level, your biggest challenge isn't making money anymore. It's avoiding self-sabotage, bad investments, lifestyle creep, ego purchases, trying to look rich. And here's the truth nobody likes hearing. Most people who reach $100,000 never become millionaires, because the habits that build stability are different from the habits that build massive wealth. To become truly wealthy, eventually you need ownership. Not just saving, not just budgeting. Ownership, businesses, equity, assets, investments. That's the bridge to the next level. Level 4, net worth, $1 million. $1 million. The number almost everyone dreams about. But here's the shocking reality. In modern America, a millionaire often doesn't look rich at all. A paid-off house, retirement accounts, index funds, maybe a business. That's it. Most millionaires are surprisingly boring financially. No Lamborghinis, no yachts, no champagne lifestyle. In fact, many millionaires still shop at Costco, drive practical cars, and avoid wasting money, because becoming wealthy usually requires delayed gratification. At this level, work becomes optional for some people, but not for everyone. $1 million invested conservatively might generate around $40,000 to $70,000 a year, depending on market conditions. Comfortable? Yes. Unlimited luxury? Not even close. But psychologically, this is a huge turning point, because now money buys freedom. Freedom to quit toxic jobs, move cities, take career risks, spend more time with family, and start passion projects. And freedom is the real luxury, not designer brands. But this is where life gets interesting. Many millionaires become obsessed with optimization. They value time, health, energy, and convenience, because they realize something important. Once basic financial problems disappear, life's real problems become emotional: stress, purpose, relationships, health. Money solves money problems. It doesn't automatically solve happiness. And this is where many people experience what's called wealth disappointment. They spend their whole lives chasing a number, only to realize they're still the same person internally, just richer. Level 5, net worth, $10 million. $10 million is where wealth becomes powerful. This is no longer financial comfort. This is influence. At this level, work becomes completely optional, passive income can fully fund a luxury lifestyle, and opportunities multiply fast. You fly business class without even thinking about it. You live where you want. You constantly buy back your time. Assistants, cleaners, private services, financial advisors, tax strategists. The wealthy understand something the middle class often doesn't. Time is more valuable than money, so they spend aggressively to protect it. But this level also changes relationships dramatically. People treat you differently when they know you have money. Some admire you. Some envy you. Some simply want something from you. Trust becomes harder. And wealthy people often become more private because attention becomes expensive. Ironically, life can actually become less emotionally simple here, because money amplifies who you already are. If you're insecure, wealth magnifies insecurity. If you're generous, wealth magnifies generosity. If you're lonely, wealth can isolate you even further. At this level, rich people stop chasing survival and start chasing meaning, legacy, impact, status, recognition. That's why many wealthy people start foundations, invest in startups, buy sports teams, enter politics, or obsess over building something bigger than themselves. Because after financial freedom, humans still need purpose. Level 6, net worth, $100 million. At $100 million, you live in a completely different reality. You no longer think in terms of purchases, you think in terms of systems. Your money has teams managing it, lawyers, wealth managers, tax experts, security advisors. At this level, protecting wealth becomes a full-time operation. And ironically, extremely wealthy people often fear losing status more than losing money itself. Because wealth at this scale becomes part of your identity. You also gain something ordinary people rarely experience: access. Direct access to CEOs, politicians, celebrities, and elite investment opportunities. The world opens differently. But here's the hidden truth about extreme wealth. Your problems don't disappear. They evolve. Privacy disappears. Trust becomes complicated. Family dynamics get messy. Children can lose ambition. Friendships become questionable. And many ultra-wealthy people become trapped in a strange psychological loop. No achievement ever feels like enough. Because once you reach financial levels, most humans can't even imagine comparisons still exist. There's always someone richer. A billionaire compares himself to another billionaire. A centimillionaire envies a tech founder worth 10 times more. And that reveals one of the biggest lessons about money. There's no financial number that permanently satisfies human desire, because the human mind adapts incredibly fast. The mansion becomes normal. The luxury car becomes ordinary. Private jets become routine. And eventually, you stop chasing money. You start chasing feelings. So what's the point of all this? Is money important? Absolutely. Money matters because it buys security, freedom, options, time, and dignity. But the biggest misconception in society is believing money automatically creates fulfillment. It doesn't. At every level of wealth, people still struggle with fear, comparison, purpose, relationships, and happiness. The only difference is which problems you experience. At $0, you pray for opportunity. At $100 million, you pray for peace. And maybe the smartest financial goal isn't becoming infinitely rich, but reaching the point where money stops controlling your life. Because real wealth is waking up and controlling your own time. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more psychology and finance content like this. And comment below, what net worth level do you think gives people the happiest life? Not the richest. The happiest. I read every comment. And if you want to understand how wealthy people actually think about money, investing, and freedom, check out the next video on your screen right now.